Last night's shooting continues to serve as a reminder that gun violence does not belong in the Madison community. Around 5:10 p.m., a man in his 30s was shot along the 200 block of South Carroll Street shortly after leaving the Dane County Jail. The man suffered gunshot wounds and was pronounced dead at the hospital. We will not be sharing any other information about the victim's name. It will be released per protocol by the Dane County Medical Examiner's Office. Multiple rounds were fired last night. We located more than a dozen shell casings at the scene. Shortly after last night's shooting, we were able to take two persons of interest into custody. Homicide charges will be referred soon against one of those individuals. He is now considered a suspect in this shooting. The other person of interest is being held on a probation and parole violation, and they are both currently being held at the Dane County Jail. We believe that this was a premeditated and pre-planned targeted incident. We're still working to determine a motive. It is too early to determine if this is gang related or not. Multiple people witnessed the shooting and have been cooperative in our investigation. We ask anyone with information about the shooting to call the Madison Police Department or the Madison Area Crime Stoppers. Phone numbers for each are listed on our website. Additionally, our officers recovered a weapon close to the time when the persons of interest were taken into custody. We're still working to determine if that weapon was used in yesterday's shooting. Digital evidence has played a crucial role in this investigative process. The shooting happened outside the jail and directly across the street from the city-county building, which houses our Central Police District Station. Many county and city agency offices are located in these two buildings. The area had several city cameras, and we were able to use that video to help identify persons of interest in the vehicle involved. We want to acknowledge that this shooting has many people who work downtown on edge. It's scary for me to think that this took place in a very public area where people come to live and to simply work. At the Madison Police Department, we're doing what we can to help ease the nerves of valued employees. Last night, our officers escorted some to their vehicles. We provided extra patrol near where the shooting took place, and we will do that again today. We also have our employee assistant group available to help with any city or county employees who may want to talk through this event with the council. I want to highlight the quick response of the Madison Police Department. We had an officer who had just arrived here at the CCB and saw the victim. He was immediately able to provide aid until EMS was able to arrive. We had officers rushing out of the CCB in the direction of the gunfire to quickly secure the perimeter and the crime scene. Detectives began reviewing immediately city cameras moments after the shots were fired. I want to thank everyone for the long hours they put in last night and the long hours they'll continue to put in until we completely bring this case to a successful resolution. I also want to thank some of our partners in Fitchburg, Chief Morales, who reached out. I want to thank the Sheriff Barrett, who reached out to us as well as the town of Madison. This is certainly something that we got a lot of support from our law enforcement partners who reached out. And so I will take a few questions if there are any.
Was the victim leaving the custody of the jail, and if so, how long had he been in jail and for what?
I'm not sure. I'm not able to determine that right now.
Was he with a family member when the shooting happened?
He was with a family member, yes.
Chief, your blog references a hit and run collision that was related to this. Could you explain?
I'm not sure unless you're speaking of the short pursuit at Rimrock and John Nolan in front of the Allegiant Center. If that's what you're talking about, that may have been the collision that you're speaking of.
What kind of gun was recovered?
I'm not able to tell that right now.
Do you know how many officers were involved in this search from how many people were here to at the Alliant Energy Center?
I'm not sure, probably well over 20 officers. We had a large presence down where the suspects were taken into custody as well as here. Obviously, the officers work out of this building, and there were many that were coming to do paperwork and things of that nature. So we did have a large presence.
How many family members were there that witnessed the shooting?
I believe one.
Do you know what city he was from?
I do not.
Chief, the witnesses to the shooting, did that include any of your officers or employees, either in the Madison City County building or the Dane County Public Safety building or the Dane County Courthouse?
No, we had one officer who had just arrived. He did not witness the shooting, perhaps because he was, coming in to do paperwork. But he did inform me that he looked over and saw the victim lying on the ground. So he was the officer who came over and immediately began to, number one, he has to make sure that the scene is safe. Number two, he has to make sure that he begins his first aid procedures. And, he really performed well under a lot of pressure. Most people, you're coming in to do paperwork, you don't expect to see this. You don't know if it's someone who's having a medical issue or what, but he did an exceptional job to get information out on the radio and also to ensure that he could provide first aid.
You mentioned the extra security that you're offering to the folks downtown. Do you anticipate that lasting through the rest of the week?
Yes, and through the weekend, excuse me.
When you had the family in here last night, what were you saying to them? How were you explaining this to them?
Well, the detectives spoke with the family. I guess the most important thing is to get information about the shooting, anything that they may have saw or know about the shooting. But certainly, as I said last night, our thoughts are with them, and personally, my prayers are with that family as well. Thank you, and we'll update the website if we have any additional information, including the weapon. Someone asked a question about the weapon. We plan on giving you a photo of that soon. Okay, thank you.